Hello, hello. It is Monday. We love Mondays. It's also the end of the month. So hop on here. We're going to do a really quick live, but this subject's been coming up a lot lately and I want to address it. So we are going to talk about burnout, how to say no. Obviously, it's the end of the month, so I'll touch on some of that. Hi, Christy. Hi, Jay. How are you? Hi, everybody. Thanks for hopping on. It is an awesome Monday. I hope you're having a great Monday. I just scored some new yoga pants. Thank you very much, Seth Montoya and Haley, for sending me these amazing yoga pants. Live for Now yoga pants. It's their company, and I'm super excited to be wearing them. I'm going to go to yoga tonight and rock them. They are comfortable. They move with you. They're not see-through, which is a positive because we all have those pants where if we go to yoga and there's lights on, you can see it all. So that's what we're talking about today. But the rules in Fight Club are there are no rules. I'm going to teach you something that some people might say, no, don't listen. I have to tell you about this because it was something I learned about a year ago that saved me and kind of woke me up. And I really want to help you if you're already experiencing burnout, or if you've been in your company, if you're in a job. It doesn't matter what this is. It doesn't have to apply to direct sales, but it definitely happens a lot here. And people tend to fry themselves, and sometimes they do it before they even really get started. And that's why we see people fail a lot. You know, they quit before they even start. So hashtag live if you're coming in on the live. You know the drill, guys. Hashtag replay if you're coming on the replay. I want to know where you're coming in from. Shout it out. It is 80 degrees here. It's gorgeous, but I guess the temperature is dropping tonight to in the 50s, which it'll feel really good, though. We need to cool off a little bit. Hi, Mauricio. Hi, David. Hi, Wendy. So, talking about the rules of Fight Club, there are no rules, and here's why. So, what I learned about a year and a half ago is I was feeling like I was the only one who was doing all these things every day. I'd have team pages, I'd have all these, I was running the promos, I was doing the calls, I was constantly being present, I was on social media, and I got to a point where I started to loathe everything I was doing. So hi, Breckenridge, Texas, Ohio. So I started to loathe everything. I started to not want to go on social media, which that's not always a bad thing. It's good to take breaks. But it was part of my job, and I was starting to resent it. I was starting to hate the telephone. People would call me and just want to have conversations, and I would be like, no, I don't even want to pick up a phone. I don't want to go live on social media. I don't want to post a cute picture. I was over it. I had got to the place in my business where I had fried myself. That was nobody's fault. That was not a company issue. That was a Shiloh issue. And what I was doing, because when I go in, I go all in, right? If that's you, if you're an all-in person, if you're like balls to the walls, put your hands up, put a fun emoji up, because there's a lot of us. We jump in, and then all of a sudden we're like, holy shit, I can't keep up with this. You know, like, I can't keep up with what I set. You set yourself a pace that you're never going to get 5 years, 10 years through. So setting your pace up right comes down to a few factors. One, you got to break the rules a little bit. And when I mean break the rules, I don't mean completely veer off and do your own thing and recreate the wheel. That is not what I mean. Never let someone tell you you have to do something every single day, that you can't take a break. Never go down that rabbit hole. And usually no one says that to us. We just put it in our minds that we have to, right? This is nobody's fault. We create this environment because we're so focused on winning. We're so focused on our goals and getting to a certain spot that we set a pace that is highly, well, number one, not duplicatable to anyone, but we can't even duplicate it ourselves after a while. Some people do this in the first 3 months and they're out. Like, how many times either you've done it or you have team members that come on board and all of a sudden you're like, I don't know where they went. They were balls to the wall. Now they won't even respond. Correct. Hey, Teresa. So you have to keep in mind that sometimes what we do is we overwhelm ourselves with things. When you come into any company, there's training, there's tools. They give you all these things to learn. And I'm the kind of person who does everything all at once. What you have to be very careful of is there are no rules. If you want to go Facebook Live every day, do it. If it makes you happy and you feel good and you feel like you see results, then you should go live on Facebook every day. For me, I'm not an everyday person. I've tried it. What I notice is I don't feel good about it. What happens to me, and there's no rules. This is my rules. This is what I do to keep myself happy and excited, because I'm passionate about what I do. But there's no rule that says you have to be on Facebook every single day, all day. There's no rule that says you have to go live every single day. There's no rule. You don't need to have makeup on. If you're gonna do a presentation, I would say look nice. But if you are someone like me who's living in yoga pants, be you, be your true self. Because if you're not somebody who wears makeup all the time and you're spending 45 minutes getting ready and doing your hair, you're gonna loathe this. You're gonna be like, I don't have time for this. It's too hard. Now you got that pressure on yourself, and what's happening? You're starting to feel suffocated. You're like, I don't like what I'm doing, right? So this is in general. If it's the phone, here's my advice. If you struggle with the phone and you're feeling fried on the phone, you're like, I would tell you that always quality over quantity. So if you're feeling like you're doing a ton of calls and you're not even bringing value to them, or you're exhausted on them, take a break. Say, I'm taking Wednesday off for a mental health day. And here's the rule. There's no rule. You can do that. This is your business. You have your own business. And what I see people doing is they forget that they're their own boss. I am not going to tell anyone that works with me what they need to do and how they need to do it all day long. It's their choice. If they ask me for advice, yeah. If they say, hey, I'm open to some advice, I might guide them and say, hey, this is where you could tighten it up, and this is maybe where you need to do it. Today, I had a conversation with someone who, hey, you are charging so hard, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to slow it down and focus on what you're good at. So remember, you have to do what you love. You have to be happy to keep your passion. So if you're doing things, yes, you need to get uncomfortable. But if you're doing things and you're starting to resent it, you need to step back and go, what makes me happy? Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, 90% of my lives are never with makeup, doing my hair. I don't look terrible, but I mean, there's times where I'm like, wow, I did a live like that, and I see the live a couple weeks later or a year later, and I'm laughing because I'm like, woo, I really didn't care. But that's good, because that's who I am. If you come to my house, I want you to meet me exactly how I'm presenting myself to you, right? And you want to be that. If you're your authentic self, people are going to be attracted to that. They want to work with you. So you got to be you all the time. You know, don't look like a slob, but be careful. Don't take things too literal either. When people give suggestions, they're just suggestions. Hey, if you want to build up your network, going live every day for 21 days is a good idea. It is. I'm going to tell you it's a good idea. If you don't have a large network, you're going to have to do some things like that, but be yourself during them. It might be painful because you're not used to it, but they're telling you that because it does grow your network. But if you're somebody who's like me, I notice when I go live every day, my content doesn't get as quality. And I want to come at you with energy, and I want to be excited to go live. And usually when I go live, it comes to me and I'm sitting down and I'm giving it to you right from where it comes from. I don't usually plan mine out. Now that's not advice I'd give for everyone. I shoot from the hip in my trainings, in my calls, in my lives, no matter what. That's me because it works. If I pre-plan, I come off scripted. It doesn't look good for me. Some people, they have to do that. And it works really well for them and they're really successful at it. There's no wrong way. There's no rules here. Create your own rules. You are your own boss. Hi, Michelle Lee. Hi, Jason. So you are your own boss, and remember that. Even if you are in a situation where you're required to do things at work, you're not necessarily your own boss, but you have a 9-to-5 job or something else, make sure what you're doing daily is keeping you happy. It challenges you. So yeah, it pushes you beyond your limits, but don't do things that put you into a place where you resent them. And that's what's really important. Learn how to say no. Learn how to say no. And learn how to step back, take days off if you're starting to feel that way, especially if you have a crew with you. If you work a 9-to-5, or you have a team of people, or you lead people in your job, if you are your own business owner, nobody wants you worn out, tired, They don't want the burnt out person on the phone or telling you what to do. They can sense it. They can feel your energy. You're not helping them. So I will definitely tell you, have those days where you're like, you know what, today I'm focusing on me and I'm just gonna go reach out to 10, 15 people today. I'm gonna focus on team, be present, but today I have to focus on what I'm good at. I'm good at building relationships. Don't get into the modes of constantly training, where you're frying yourself out. You just gotta do it sometimes. Take a break. If you're trained out, that's when you take a break. When you've been absent for a while, that's when you go into training mode. Okay? I'm giving you this permission because I think it's really important. I never knew that I could take a break. I am the person who never took breaks. And I will tell you, after this last year, I did it to myself. Like, I noticed my physical health went down. I didn't want to be a part of very many things because it brought me so much anxiety and stress because I felt like I was getting nowhere, but I put that on myself. So if you're in that burnout mode or if you're feeling that way, take a time off. Take a day. Tell your team if you need to. You don't even have to announce it all the time, but it's okay to tell your team, hey, I want you to know this is my family day today. You guys are all awesome. I'm here if you really need me. You always can call me, but today I'm just taking a day. Good. Let them know they can take a day. I guarantee you'll have people working harder and better when they know that's the environment you created. It starts with you. It starts at the top, right? So create that environment. Create the environment of it's okay. When people ask you, hey, can I be doing something different? Yeah, throw them the ideas, but never say, well, why aren't you going live all the time? And why aren't you on 85 calls a day? Or no, they know. They just need to feel good about what they're doing. And I'll tell you, pushing through, like, here's the other difference. When you're pushing through your comfort zone, when you're breaking that glass ceiling, it feels good. It feels good to conquer challenges. What doesn't feel good is when you're doing things that are not aligned with yourself and who you are as a person, and you do them because you feel like you're forced. Don't do that. Now, here's the stipulation. When there's funnels, when there's systems in place, you need to follow those systems. Those are the one things you don't break the system, okay? You never break the system, but you can break some of the rules around it, meaning there is no rule telling you to do a certain amount of anything. There's suggestions. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't get caught up in training mode so much that you fry yourself out and you're not even taking actions. Like, you can get in training mode all day long. Like, you could watch videos and listen to calls all day long and get nowhere. You could be the most trained person in the team and have zero volume. It's a fact. How do you take a break from your business when you also work a full-time job and family? Okay, so the key to taking a break is being consistent all the time. So when I say take a break, I mean, if you have a business where you do need to be present and it's a side business, what I would say is check in the morning, make sure you're doing a regular thing, but you don't have to be constantly on social media. You don't have to constantly be on the phone. Does that make sense? Let your team know that you're going to be taking some time. You will get to them, but it may not be right away because you're taking a few hours or a day to yourself. That's the beautiful thing about building online and having mobile businesses. In this day and age, you really can do that. And once you have a good funnel in place, your team should be able to roll without you for a day. I mean, that's what you're doing this for. If it's not, there's something broken or something missing, and you need to find that. And that's usually where people need to look too. So just be mindful. We're all our own bosses. It's okay to say no. It's okay to break the rules, not the funnel or the system. Don't break those. But if you're not somebody who's gonna go live every day, don't. Now, that's not your permission slip to never go live or get on a phone call. It means don't put yourself in that position where you're never gonna be able to sustain something like that. I'd rather see quality versus quantity for many people. Now, there's a lot of people who do need to build their networks. They need to do those tasks, and I'm not gonna give you the out. You should do it. It's up to you. This is your business. You can take advice or you can leave it. But if you wanna be successful, listen to what the successful people are doing. They're gonna give you suggestions. If you follow it, great. If you don't, it's on you, right? And there's no guilt here. So I just wanted to address that and tell you it's okay to say no. It's okay to do it the way you want to do it. Just stick to the basics, the system and your funnels, and you will succeed. Even with a day off. That's okay. I'd rather have you positive, happy, healthy, and loving what you do. So if you're in a spot where you feel burnt out, find out what's bothering you. Find out what you're not loving and change it. There's no rules. It's your business. If you own a business right now, if you're in direct sales, multiple marketing, you own your business. It's yours. Build it the way you want to. Set the tone for your team though. Let them know you want them to be happy and healthy, and you want them to push through and conquer their goals, but you also want them to have enough time freedom where they don't feel like it's a job and they burn out, right? This has always got to be fun. Find your passions, and if you're stuck, look for some of those things. Are you saying no at the right times? Are you stepping back sometimes, taking a breath, taking a walk, taking a day if you need to? Or are you tired? Or are you a worn out leader just searching for something to stick? That's not a good place to be. Don't throw spaghetti on the wall waiting for it to stick. That does not work. You know what makes you happy. Find your passion again. Go back to your first day or your first month and say, what was driving me? What was I good at here? And go with it. You may not be great at your social media, but being consistent in doing what they tell you to do, you can still be highly successful. You don't have to be the most organized person in the world to be successful. I'm a perfect example of that, but I'm really good at certain things. And I take those things that I'm good at and I max them out. Find what you're good at and max it out. If you struggle in an area, work on it, but focus on your strengths. That's why you have a team. Fill in the gaps. Find those organized people. Find those people who are driven and passionate and excited. That's really all you need is passion and drive. Intention. You can get far with that. Get the training in. If you don't do trainings, get training. If you're overtraining, stop and start working. Like, that's what I'll tell you. A lot of the times we're just in this wheel because we don't feel like we know what we're doing, so we go into training mode, so we hide from it. We feel like we're working. You're not really working. You're training. But the most successful people, they didn't do every single thing in training. They learned, but they did it at a pace that was doable. Don't fry yourself. So, no burnout Mondays. Thank you so much for my awesome yoga pants, Seth and Haley. I love them. Live for Now. It's their new company. I'm so proud of them. I'm proud to wear them to my class tonight. They're awesome. Thank you for hopping on this live. MLA Challenge in the books. We're almost done. Happy end of the month. I hope you're all crushing your goals. I know we are. So many people hitting ranks and achieving some of their biggest paychecks. So proud of all of you. Be proud of yourself. It's not over yet. You have a lot of time to do some really big things. So push hard, get excited, and congratulations on an awesome July.